show. All right, now let's get the Schmoes in here. The Schmoes who know movies, Mark and Kristian. Subscribe to their YouTube channel. YouTube.com/Schmoes know.
46 million people have watched this stuff.
Video views. Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing.
203,000 subscribers. So is it more than that now?
206,000.
206,000.
53 million.
No big deal.
And we do want to say, first of all, go Dodgers, go Big Blue. Speaking of big, we had a great week thanks to Heidi. Thanks to her outing Kristian and what's hanging in between his legs.
Yeah.
We get into restaurants now. We get private seat. He gets the handicap seating at movie theaters, so he can give that python a little bit of a rest. It has been an awesome week.
I did get a lot of emails and texts after that, so thank you, Heidi. That was nice.
Oh, you bet.
You heard from relatives who haven't talked to you in 10 years.
You know, he gets that from his Uncle John, who was enormous.
Yeah. How did we even get on the topic of your Johnson last week?
My Heidi was talking about it at the birthday party.
Yeah, you're like, how was the party? I was like, the only thing that I learned was, Kristian's a pretty sweet guy, but he has an enormous penis everywhere you go. And I'm like, okay, and I thought, I thought this was supposed to be a roast. When you roast somebody, you're supposed to say bad things. And everyone's like, the size of
So everybody got up and said something about his wiener?
And then every girl confirmed it. His wife confirmed it. And she goes, he's a nice guy, but, I mean, he's a comedian. Like, I'm going to marry a comedian, but once I saw his penis, I was like, I do. I was like, what?
But look, here's the thing.
She had to put a ring on it. It was a hula.
We're still trying to run a professional business here, so the name Schmoes Know is now being changed to Kristian, his penis, time permitting, Mark Ellis. That's how it looks on the mark, because I'll pop into a little song and dance if his hog can get off stage.
If his hog can get off stage. Oh, it was good to have you guys back.
Justin Bieber's dad actually saw it and asked him, my God, what do you feed that thing? You feed that thing. That's what he said. That's very proud.
Don't ask my dad for a comment, please.
We do have a lot of movies to look at this week opening in theaters. One of the big ones, I guess. Rotten Tomatoes gives us 89%. Bridge of Spies, director Steven Spielberg, stars Tom Hanks and Alan Alda. You like it?
Did you hear what you just said? You got Spielberg.
I know. I'm like, how can you not?
Hanks. How can you hate this movie?
Alda.
You can't hate this movie. Alan Alda's in the movie. He's not like, it's like, oh, I can't wait to see Alan Alda go toe-to-toe with Tom Hanks.
He's in it hardly, yeah.
Yeah, he hangs out in the movie, much like I do on our show now. But Hanks and Spielberg, it's so fun to watch Spielberg direct a movie and Hanks star in it. This movie didn't quite have the Spielberg magic. It's about the Cold War, and Tom Hanks is a lawyer who is representing an accused Russian spy. And then things get hairier when
he's just a tax lawyer or something up top. He's not.
Yeah, he's just a dude who like he has no idea that he's going to be thrown into this.
Yeah,
thing.
they
have a sweethanks.com and they just found him.
Well, they ask him to do it because it's kind of like it's a no-win. They just want someone to say, okay, at least the guy got a fair shot, but he's not going to win. And I thought that's what the movie was going to be out for the majority of it. It's only about like a half an hour, 40 minutes, and then they send him off to do like this exchange because they can't make it official. That
one of our boys got shot down overseas, so
yes.
Now we're thinking about a spy trade.
I liked the movie, but what I said in the review also is that you're watching it, and like when you watch a Spielberg movie, you know that it's a Spielberg movie. You feel the magic. I didn't necessarily feel the Spielberg magic. It's certainly a good film, and I also thought that Hanks was good. But I thought, what's the dude's name that plays the Russian guy?
Mark Rylance steals
the
his
movie.
Scenes. Yeah.
But the movie I thought was good. It just had a couple flaws, and it just wasn't as great as other Spielberg
movies.
movies.
What worries me about it is that you haven't heard about it, hadn't heard about it, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I saw a trailer for it, and it's opening next week. You're like,
and the Coen brothers wrote it too, by the way.
Tom Hanks,
oh, really?
Why not see it everywhere?
Yeah, you would think it would be like
it's under the radar. It's under not the Farley brothers.
I don't think it's like an Oscar contender, but
it's not.
Yeah,
the Matt Damon and Greg Kinnear show at one point.
Also opening up in theaters this week, Truth, starring Cate Blanchett, Robert Redford, and Dennis Quaid, got 75% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yes, another political drama, and this is about the last days of Dan Rather on the Air. You know, that whole scandal that happened with George Bush and during the 2004 election, where 60 Minutes did that report to where they said they had documents and people had reported that George Bush had pretty much gone AWOL, and then they ran this whole thing in 60 Minutes, and then there were a report after they ran it. It was like that they were fabricated documents and all this. It was bad for the CBS team, and Dan Rather ultimately had to resign. But Cate Blanchett is the Marla Mapes, I believe, is the one who was his producer, and it's Cate Blanchett, man. She's great. It's and a first-time director. When you're working with Robert Redford, I thought it was really solid. It gets a little slow, and I think it's a little one-sided politically, but it's pretty good.
But here's the thing: I didn't see this movie. So does Dan Rather? Does Robert Redford look like Dan Rather at all?
No,
but he's playing Dan Rather.
Does he at least have the CBS Evening News? I'm Dan Rather for CBS Evening News.
The whistle did not make an appearance.
No.
But
well,
really
you know,
you should have played Dan Rather.
I waited forever for a role in Hollywood, and I'm up for the Dan Rather.
She wasn't
part.
pretty enough. Right. Oh, come on. I'm kidding. Of course you're pretty enough to play Dan Rather.
So mean. So mean to me. It's hurtful.
Also, a horror movie coming out, Crimson Peak, Rotten Tomatoes 72%. Now, normally, when I see a horror movie out, critics don't like it and doesn't get near in the 70s.
Well, it's Del Toro. It's Guillermo del Toro.
Guillermo del Toro, and this movie visually is
what
great.
What else did he do?
He
that
did Pan's Labyrinth,
Rim.
Hellboy 1, 2, Pacific Rim. He's
produces a lot of cool
stuff
too. So this movie, to me, it was like going on a date with Heidi, where she's beautiful to look at, but ain't nothing going to happen between the movie.
Are you saying you're not going to get near my Crimson Peak or my Pacific Rim?
Crimson? Come on, no.
Well, that's why. Maybe that's why.
Maybe that's why he doesn't have
right.
a
I'm like,
shot.
listen, not tonight.
Yeah,
I can't,
but I agree with Mark. It's a gorgeous movie. I mean, it's Del Toro. I mean, the house that he built for this movie is a character. And then I thought a lot of the acting. He gets the best performances out of his actors. But I kind of got a little bored with this movie, and I thought it got a little cheesy towards the end. And
that is like a date with me. You'll get bored, and it's a little bit cheesy.
Yeah.
You're like,
and this house is freezing.
Yeah. And Mark had said at the end, though, too, like he's a simpleton. Mark, it's you can fool him with any movie and any twist.
I like popcorn.
Yeah. He saw all these twists coming. Yeah.
Look at that movie, that house. That's a scary shadow.
Yeah.
But, look, I thought the performances in this movie weren't as good as I wanted from the actors. Tom Hiddleston, Jessica Chastain, Maya Wasikowska. There's great names in this movie, and towards the end of the movie, it felt like everybody was staging their performance and
it didn't give you
goosebumps.
No, and you see ghosts in the trailer. There's only a couple of... There's only a couple of ghosts in this movie, and they don't really play a huge part.
Yes,
Segway King over here.
I know. Goosebumps opens up as well. Jack Black's in it. A teenager teams up with the daughter of a young adult horror author, R.L. Stine, after the writer's imaginary demons are set free on the town of Greendale, Maryland.
I'm out.
Yeah.
Now, I'll tell you this. It's like we could have seen Goosebumps on Tuesday. They had the press screening for that or Crimson Peak, and Crimson Peak was like one of my top 10 most anticipated. Kristian wanted to see it too. So we opted for Crimson Peak. So we're seeing Goosebumps tonight. We haven't seen it yet.
After the main show, yeah.
Haven't heard great things.
Well, we got 79%.
I heard really good things about it.
I heard horrible things.
Really?
But this is like 3 months ago. I know some people that saw an unfinished cut and they were not fans of it. My girlfriend, who's a little younger than me, who I did not meet on Craigslist.
19.
I met her when I was in college. She's very much looking forward to this movie because that's her generation that read the Goosebumps novels.
Right.
I want to say
you didn't read the Goosebumps novels at all?
No, but it reminds me of
much.
Jumanji when I look at it. So I was a Jumanji fan, but for me, I actually heard really good things about it. People who think that it's a good kids movie and that it's great Halloween. And Jack Black hasn't had something good in a while, so I'm looking forward to seeing it. We're going, after we do the main show tonight, we are going to just ruch right over to Century City.
We're going to the movies, Kristian?
Me and you, get that popcorn.
Oh, what's that between your legs? That's big.
Well, I was going to have you guys do Yes or BS with actual Goosebumps books, but both of you have no idea about the Goosebumps series. Do you want to play anyway?
Yeah, I can.
All right, here we go.
And give him the alert.
Mark goes first. All right, Mark, just tell me if this is actually a Goosebumps story or not. A bunch of kids go missing, and it turns out they're being used as slaves to clean a giant monster made of radioactive jelly.
Bang, that is totally a Goosebumps.
Yes, it was called The Horror of Camp Jelly Jam.
Someone's getting some action tonight.
All right, Kristian, is this actual Goosebumps book or not? A girl finds out that to become an adult, everyone has to alter their appearance, and they all choose from the same set of models, so everyone looks the same.
That's Twilight Zone. No. Wait.
Nice.
2 points.
Kristian.
Because it was Twilight Zone. 2 points for Kristian because he named the actual show that it was.
2 points for Kristian has never happened on the show.
No.
I knew the song was Blue Velvet. I knew the artist was Bobby Vinton.
Another point for Mark.
Unbelievable.
Let's see. Okay, Mark, your question. A kid starts taking piano lessons from a teacher named Dr. Shriek and suspects he's a murderer who collects kids' hands.
That sounds so Goosebumpsy that I'm going to say it is not a Goosebumps.
It is. It's called Piano Lessons Can Be Murder.
Frank's face when he was like just going through it. You're wrong. You're right. Look at Alex Trebek just so happy that the guy got it wrong.
It turned out the piano teacher was actually a robot built by the school's maintenance man who was collecting hands. All right. All right. This is back to Kristian. Right. All right. A girl tells her parents that her reading teacher is a monster who eats turtles, so they invite him over for dinner and eat him.
All right, I'll say that's a Goosebumps.
That sounds Goosebumpsy. Yeah.
Yes, the book was called The Girl Who Cried Monster. Yeah. And it turned out her parents were monsters, too. Goosebumps.
That R.L. Stein. Yeah. Way to brain on her.
All right, Mark, back to you.
Or him. I don't know who are. Yeah.
Just stop talking.
Is R.L. Stein a dude or a chick?
What's the score right now?
Rachel?
What's the score?
Mark's got 1. Kristian has 3.
All right, this is for 4 points. Last question. A bunch of crazy stuff happens to a kid on vacation, and he finds out his parents are famous secret agents who set him up to train him for zombie hunting.
God, you've thrown so many premises. It sounds so Goosebumpsy. I'm going to say that is not a Goosebumps.
It's not! Mark wins! 4-3! That was fun. Well, I hope you guys liked the movie. You're going to see it tonight. Of the movies that you did see, you highly recommend which one? Bridge of Spies,
I only have money for one
Peak?
movie. Yeah.
I'll throw Bridge of Spies at you.
Yeah, I say Bridge of Spies. And one other thing I'd like to say, too, I didn't mention it last week. I have a show on Fandango now.
Sorry, we're out of time.
I thought you were coming out of the closet.
No,
He's like,
not yet.
listen, it's just something I wanted to tell you guys.
He's doing a show now with his
I
penis.
did get a lot of requests now because of you last week. We're doing a show on Fandango called Movie 3 somewhere. It's a mixture.
You marking your penis?
Yes.
That's not a sock puppet, kids.
No.
Hello, guys. Is Frank Oz operating that?
No,
thing?
I think your penis has a much lower voice than "Hello, guys."
Well, it
or what I've
depends.
heard.
Maybe. Hello, guys.
I don't look like Dane Cook. What are you talking about?
I'm trying to plug this show. Fandango, Movie 3, so myself and Tiffany Smith. It's a mixture. It's a lot of fun. It's movie knowledge. We have a lot of really cool guests. Del Toro was actually on the show.
Oh, wow.
So please check it out.
Where can they get it?
They can get it on Fandango and also on Fandango Movie Clips on YouTube.
And I'll show up, too. Hey, I'm Kristian.
His penis sounds like Gary Busey.
Can I get in or should I get out? Thank you very much.
I imagine it looks like Gary Busey.
On a bender.
It's pretty. It's pretty.
We're going to take a break. Come right back. We're Heidi and Frank.
Back to